Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to explain you the evolutionary process model. Evolutionary process models are iterative in the nature. They are categorized in a manner that enables you to develop the increasingly more complete versions of the software. And we represent the two common evolutionary process models, that is prototyping model and the spiral model. The prototyping model is the basic idea here is that instead of freezing the requirement before a designing or a coding can proceed, a throwaway prototype is built to understand the requirements. This prototype is developed based on the currently known requirements of the end users. And also, this prototype can enables the client to better understand the requirement of the desired system, and it is an attractive idea for complicated and large system for which there is no manual process or existing system to help to determine the requirements. The prototypes are usually not complete systems, and many of the details are not built in the prototype. The goal is to provide a system with the overall functionality. So this is the prototype model. So here the communication take place and the quick plan of the development of the software, that is the modeling quick design, will take place, and immediate construction of a prototype is built, and that prototype is delivered to the customer or the end user. So the deployment, delivery, and getting the feedback. So getting the feedback for the next prototype. So this cycle continues. The advantages of the prototype model is users are actively involved in the development process. Since this methodology, a working model of a system is provided, the users get a better understanding of the system being developed. Errors can be detected much earlier, and also quicker user feedback is available, leading to a better solutions of the software, and we can also find the missing functionalities and we can identify those functionalities easily. Confusing or difficult functions can be identified. So these are the advantages of the prototyping model. Some disadvantages are there. The first one is leads to implementing, then repairing a way of building the systems. And also, practically, this methodology may increase the complexity of the system as scope of the system may expand beyond the original plans. And also, incomplete application may cause the application not to be used as the full system was designed. So these are the some of the disadvantages of this prototype model. When to use the prototype model? Prototype model should be used when the desired system need to have a lot of interaction with the end users. And typically online systems, web interfaces have a very high amount of interaction with the end users are the best suited for prototype model. It might take a while for a system to be built that allows the ease of use and needs the minimal training for the end users. Prototype ensures that the end users constantly work with the system and provide a feedback which is incorporated in the prototype to build in the usable system. They are excellent for designing the good human computer interface systems. Next is the spiral model. So it was originally proposed by Barry Boehm. The spiral model is an evolutionary software process model that couples the iterative nature of prototyping with the control and systematic aspects of the waterfall. It provides the potential for the rapid development of increasingly more complex versions of the software. The spiral model is a risk driven software development process model based on the unique risk patterns of a given project. The spiral model guides a team to adapt the elements of one or more process models, such as incremental, waterfall, or evolutionary prototyping. The first circuit around the spiral might result in the development of the product specifications. Subsequent passes around the spiral might be used to develop a prototype and then progressively more sophisticated versions of the software. Each pass through the planning region result adjustment to the project plan. Cost and schedules are adjusted based on the feedbacks derived from the customers after the delivery. In the addition, the project manager adjusts the planned number of iterations required to complete the software. So this is the spiral process model. So this is the four quadrant we have. The first quadrant is to determine the objectives, and then second quadrant is the identify and resolve the risk. The third is development and test, and fourth is the plan and next iteration. Initially, when we start this spiral process model, the concept of the requirements are there. Okay, so concept of requirement, and thereafter the concept of operation, and requirement plans will be taken, and based on the requirements plans, the first prototype is released for the user to identify and resolve the risk, and thereafter the requirements are gathered, those requirements are verified and validated, and developed the next plan and released as a second prototype. Again, the draft is done to develop and test the requirements, verifications and validations take place, and then test plans for the next iteration. Okay, then review take place, and finally when operational prototype is delivered, or operational prototype is starts construction, so we identify and resolve the risk in the operational prototype, and then we start the detailed designing in the third quadrant, development and test. So detailed designing take place for the final prototype, then codes are written, integrations is done, the testing is applied, and the implementation of the system, and it is released for the user. So this is how this spiral model works. This spiral process model has some of the advantages, like it is a high amount of risk analysis, hence avoidance of risk is enhanced. Good for large and mission critical projects. Strong approval and documentation control. Additional functionality can be added at a later date. Software is produced early in the software life cycle, and it has some of the disadvantages. It can be a costly module to use. Risk analysis requires highly specific expertise, and project success is highly dependent on the risk analysis phase, and it doesn't work well for the smaller projects. And when to use the spiral process model? When the cost and risk evaluation is important for medium to high risk projects, then we can use this spiral process model. And for long term project commitments and users are unsure of their needs, then we can use this one to release the number of prototypes. And when requirements are complex or tedious, then the spiral process model is advisable. And new product line significant changes are expected, like in research and exploration